Hi Aries, how are you? Welcome to your October 2017 reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to share with you a transit that we have going on, and it's this Jupiter transiting into Scorpio happening on October 10th. It's exciting because for you, it's really going to give your life a little bit of texture, I think. And it's neither good nor bad. Right? And I think some of you are going to, if you're totally single, there's a possibility that you might meet someone and get married very quickly. And some of you, there's a possibility that you may split with someone as well. There's a possibility that some of you may get really curious and have a lot of curiosity about the world as a whole, as a collective, understanding governments and wanting to learn and to delve into how the world works and, the real powers of the world kind of thing, and really getting to the core of a lot of things. Jupiter can have both, practical use and also romantic as well. So there's always that possibility of meeting someone and even maybe some of you having an illicit affair or something very hidden, or maybe you get engaged and you keep it quiet for a while or something like that. It's going to be an interesting year for you. I'm excited, and hopefully it really pans out for you in a really positive way and really enables your life to take some sudden shifts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put the camera down and we'll get on with the cards. All right? Thanks so much. Hello Aries. All right, let's go ahead and begin. I've already been shuffling the cards and preparing them for you. So let's see what we get out coming in the middle. 10 of Swords. All right, well, I mean, it's not as bad as the 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords means something's over or you've reached the end of something. And it can be tough, sure. But at the end of the day, you hopefully are coming to a point of realizing that you've given it all the thought it deserves. You've given it all the attention, all the energy. There's only so much you can do when you have a 10 of Swords, and you've done it all at this point. So the fact of the matter is that whatever the outcome of whatever it is you've been dealing with, whatever that outcome is, okay, it's the way it had to be. And I think the people that I'm talking to, my little audience that I have, you're here, you're a spiritual person. It's a spiritual group of people. And the concept and the idea of, letting the universe be in control, it's not lost on you. And when we come to a 10 of Swords situation, it really means that you're in the right direction. You're going in the right place. And even though you experience resistance and you really hit your limitations, and you may even feel like a failure, but the fact of the matter is that you are not, all right? That this was an experience that you were really meant to have. And whatever quote unquote failure you had, okay, is making room for an Ace of Cups, making room for something else. Let me make sure you can see the cards here. Okay. Yeah, it's making room. What did I just say? You're in the right track. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And Ace of Cups represents anything that is emotionally fulfilling. It represents the Lord of the root of powers of water. Okay, so what does that really mean? The root of the water, or the water suit, or emotions, or intuition, or happiness, love, joy. Okay? It means that you're opening the door for something that's going to provide those things. And some of you may be meeting someone new. Or some of you may be reestablishing some kind of a connection, or taking a new passion seriously and, running with it, rolling with it, and creating something from it, okay? There's abundance available to you in some area of your life, most likely love and relationships, because it is cups. And it's a stark contrast to the 10 of Swords. How opposite could it be? Not only do we have a 1 and a 10, but we have the chalice and the blade. Okay, we have the feminine and the masculine. You know, you're headed in a pathway that is quite different. Okay, and 5 of Swords. Okay, that's a tough one when there's a tendency to engage in cyclical patterns. When you feel like you want to give someone a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th chance. When you keep going around in circles, you know, or when you find yourself in a situation that is weirdly familiar, like you've been there before, you've had these conversations before, whether it's with this person or not with this person, but it's almost as though you already know where this is going. Okay? And there could be a something that comes in that tempts you to circle back. It tempts you to redo something, okay? And it's really important for you to recognize and acknowledge that tendency. We all have it. It's not just an Aries thing, right? And it's usually emotionally driven, you know, because you do have hope that someone could be different. You do have hope that things have changed this time or whatever. But when you go from a 10 to a 5, then you hit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again. Do you really want to hit the 9 and 10 again? Especially when the universe is really wanting to give you something better, something more beautiful, something more peaceful. Be careful of how we tend to kid ourselves. You know, we tend to play little jokes on ourselves sometimes, and it's to our own destruction. You know, the destruction of our self-confidence and our self-love and our happiness and our joy, and it's to our detriment. And the 8 of Wands. Changes. Look, I didn't intend, obviously, for my little Jupiter discussion at the beginning of this video to play in, because Jupiter, it doesn't just come to this new sign and then all of a sudden, boom, everything changes, you know? It's not really how it works. But I'm seeing swift changes, Lord of Swiftness. I'm seeing direction. I'm seeing new things. Some of you may be traveling. Some of you may be going and experiencing new things, meeting new people. And, you know, it's likely, I'm feeling as though there's maybe some kind of a little bit of a snowball effect happening. Okay? And we have 4 of Cups here. Been having some camera problems, so I am gonna keep like popping up to make sure it's still recording. I don't have it in selfie mode, so I can't see the screen, but 4 of Cups is, you know, the 4s represent the most mature of the numbers. 4 is about stability, foundations. It's ruled by the Emperor, which is the number 4 in the major arcana. And we think of the Emperor, we think of strength and independence and autonomy, and we think of someone who isn't, you know, it's your card, right? The Emperor is your card. But the impulse or any feeling or any impulse to act impulsively, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is being very much controlled, very much restrained to your benefit. There's a level of emotional maturity here, and it's because of what you've already been through. Like, you're smarter this time around. You're more on top of it this time around. You may be a little bit more cool. You may be a little bit less available, you know, but in spite of that, you're on a better track. And some of you are on track for love. Some of you are on track for success. and victory in something. Because Aries, Mars, the warrior, you set out to win. You set out to win and you set out to conquer. So these setbacks that you have only made you better and more intelligent. So now you can recognize red flags when you see them. You can recognize bad situations when you find yourself there, or when you find yourself having a tendency to lean that way and saying no. You know, and whatever this Ace of Cups is, I don't think you're going to really jump right into it. There's a little bit of a contradiction happening here. It's maybe on the surface you will roll along and just kind of just to test the waters. But because of this, emotionally, you're kind of like, okay, I'm just going to remain detached from this. I'm not going to get too involved. I'm optimistic. I'm going to see what happens. But let me just see what happens before I make any judgments or decisions for, before. And then the Emperor, and here's your card. Okay. And the Emperor has, well, you got cards just really wanting to come out. 5 of Pentacles. Let me put this down so I don't get distracted here. Because look, obviously 5 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, obviously you have had a situation where you have felt that you lost, like I said, like a failure. You feel, maybe not a failure, that could maybe only apply to some of you, but where your efforts went in some way unrewarded, and this is the card of isolation and even rejection sometimes. And I think your actions now are really being motivated to sort of avoid that again in the future, because you want something that's for real. You want something that's going to last. You don't want something that's just going to fizzle and dissolve right before your eyes. You want something that is tangible. And any feelings of maybe a heartbreak in the past or a sense of loss in the past, you do need to be careful, because I just totally lost what I was going to say. It entered my mind and then it just like whoosh, went right out. I don't know what happened. You do need to be careful. Hopefully that'll come back to me. Well, let's talk about the Emperor. And not just in terms of it being your card, Aries, but really what it is or what it means to be an Emperor. Because we can all take on this kind of energy. We can all take on this persona here. And I love this card because in the top you see the cosmos, and you can see the Emperor's connection and his ability to, be an alchemist and to transmute situations and circumstances into something better. And what is transmutation? A lot of people throw that word around, but if you haven't actually really studied, alchemy, which I really haven't, it can be a little bit like, okay, I'm just going to change it. How does that really work? And I think that, it's kind of, in the worst possible way to say this, like taking lemons and making lemonade kind of thing, and knowing that what it is you went through was meant to be. It had to be that way. Like I said, the universe is more in control, and it had to be that way. So where is it supposed to be carrying you? And really not really focusing on what you can do about it, but really focusing on kind of the why, because this is what's supposed to happen. So why was it? Well, there's something coming in your future. And I think this has some play, it has something, it had a lesson that it was meant to teach you, whether it's a lesson of self-respect, or whether it's a lesson of self-love or self-assertion, or whether it's a lesson of giving. Maybe you were too selfish and now you need to give more, or, whatever it is, whatever it was that you had to learn. And now you're being given an opportunity to really try it out and see if you actually learned it. And now we have the Knight of Cups. All right, well, this is a card of Pisces. So this could be someone who was a part of this 5 and 10 of Swords. whether it's your current partner, an ex, a friend, a coworker, whatever. It's someone that you are emotionally connected with. And because this is the Knight of Cups and Pisces, and when we talk of Pisces, they rule our subconscious and our imagination and, you know, the undercurrents of energy that connect us all. And then we have you as connected with the cosmos. So here you are connected in this weird ethereal realm with this person, and whether they were good or bad, I'm suspecting that you're needing to experience some form of emotional control and emotional maturity, because in some way I think this person weakens you. They make you feel not as strong as you actually are. And the process of getting to the Ten of Swords and making something of that Ten of Swords was hard enough. It was challenging enough. And now maybe here they come back. Maybe you do hear from them, you know, or maybe your partner does bring something back up when it already caused so much problems. Like, why are you bringing this up again? You know, but again, learning your lesson from what was already discussed, what you already thought about, and taking a new route. Trying something again. For some of you, it's saying no to someone, because how did they make you feel? Not great, right? They didn't make you feel great. And for others of you, you know, if it's an issue or a problem that your partner is kind of resurfacing, well, I don't want to have the same arguments about it again. So we either need to really actually settle and decide on what we need to do, or we need to completely drop it and just, you know, think about something else or do something else. But either way, you're headed, don't forget about this Eight of Wands up here, right? You're headed towards something new. You're headed towards something different, okay? And it always brings about things that are better. And the Seven of Swords. So the card of self-sabotage, you know, this is the Lord of unstable effort. You know, these cards are like super detailed and really decorative, so there's really not, I can hold them up, but like whatever. But they're really meant to inspire me, the reader. You know, it's not so much about what they look like. But, you know, the swords, the Seven of Swords is, I call it the card of self-sabotage, you know, and it really puts you on unstable ground. It puts you on this unsure footing, which is definitely not a place that you really want to be right now. And I think it is a little bit more in your control, you know, than you think, or the outcome is already predetermined. You're already going to leave something behind. It's already in the cards for you. Literally, it's in the cards. Eight of Wands. And see, I see this Knight of Cups, and I see you are moving toward the future. This Knight of Cups is moving toward the past. And see, he's moving toward the Five of Pentacles. He's kind of even maybe isolated himself, him or herself. They've kind of just sort of sealed their own fate, maybe by who they were, or maybe by what they did or what they said. They're getting rejected by you now because of what was said and you know what they did. They are exhibiting their own form of self-sabotage as well. You could have been dealing with someone who was quite toxic, Five of Swords, you know, kind of directly in line here. Dealing with someone who was toxic, someone who had a really bad attitude towards something. You could have been dealing with someone that was a little bit manipulative as well, or that recognized the spiritual connection that you shared and used it to their benefit in some kind of way as well. So now here you are really standing firm and not succumbing to these destructive behaviors that maybe you were caught in a little bit of a pattern in the past. Queen of Pentacles, all right? So here's the earth sign have really been kind of coming out now. And I feel that this might be a partner for you. Queen of Pentacles is a card of Capricorn. You may be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or someone with very earthy qualities, all right? Very earthy. Again, I'm kind of saying this for all the signs because the earth signs are really making an appearance, and I don't quite know what's going on specifically, but they're really chatty. They're really opinionated this month. They're really talkative. They're really wanting to assert themselves in your life. I don't think it's the same person. I think this is actually someone who's better, whether it's a romantic connection here or not. It could be a friend, a family member, someone who has a say in your life, a mother or something like that. Okay. Now, the one thing I want you to know with this Queen of Pentacles, I heard a noise. Make sure it's still recording. Okay. One thing I want you to know is that it's likely they could render an opinion that really is annoying and can feel painful or hurtful, hypercritical. But look, if they tell you something and it strikes a nerve, you need to ask yourself why it bothers you so much, because it's very likely that they're right. I think the earth signs are very on point this month, but in a very invasive way and in a very unwelcome way. And so just be aware, because they don't really mean to be rude or demanding. They really have your best interest at heart. And if this is someone that has been watching you go through what you've gone through, they've watched you go from 5 to 10, they've watched this situation pan out, or if they know about it, right? Like if this is a new partner and this is an ex, they know about it and this person comes back and it gets a little messy or whatever, and they're gonna be like, look, you got to get this person out of your life. You got to be mean. You got to do this. You got to do that. And they're going to try to tell you what to do. But really don't just shut it off and don't be defensive, because I do feel that they have some valuable input. It's just the delivery is probably not going to be the best. Okay. I have no idea why that's been coming to me this month. I really don't. I don't know. I'm just feeling the very strong earth sign presence in almost every reading, actually, or earth quality. The thing that makes this card, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, right? Capricorn, the thing that makes Capricorn a Capricorn and what makes them usually, oftentimes successful financially or just in whatever goal they set out to attain, is their honesty, their frankness, and their ability to really push themselves. And sometimes they don't really consider that other people can't really be pushed in the same manner that they push themselves. So they just go ahead and do it anyway. And a number 4, 4 of Wands. So here you have 4 of Cups, 4 of Wands, you, number 4, grounded, stable, feeling good, feeling like really sure of yourself. Here's a person who provides grounding for you. They provide honesty. They provide stability. If you're in a new relationship, this is a good, solid relationship that you're in now. This is not solid. It's not solid. It's not quality. So this is definitely something that you should be working actively away from. Okay, 4 of Wands is about success. There's a possibility of marriage for some of you. I often see 4 of Wands coming out with marriage. This card is associated with Venus. You can see Venus in the top there. Venus and Aries. Doesn't get better than that for you guys, does it? Okay. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. The forces of life. What did I say in the beginning of the reading? There's things that you don't have control over. You just don't. And this is like, nope, you don't have control. You had to go through this. It's shaping you. It's molding you. It's here in your life for a very, very specific reason. You're headed in a beautiful direction. You're making way for an Ace of Cups and a 4 of Cups. You're making way for stability and love and joy and good things in your life. And the universe has it under control. Don't stress, okay? If this person comes in and causes anxiety, don't stress, like water off a duck's back, right? Like you're in such a much better place now. And if this is, you know, like I said, more indicative of an issue or something like that, just leave it behind, you know, like don't get involved, don't have the arguments again, just don't worry about it. Life is trying to take you in a different direction, okay? And there's no need to resist at this point. All right, beautiful reading for you, Aries. I'm super excited for you. I wish you nothing but the best this October. Have a good month. I'll see you next month. Thanks.